Hello and welcome to our online learning session. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are safe at your homes. So please don't go out. If you're going out, then wash your hands regularly and use sanitizers and be home, be safe. So today we are going to start Science 1 Standard 9, lesson number 1. We have already started this chapter. We are to the end of this chapter, that is laws of motion. So here, if you see, last time we had done the Newton's third law of motion, where every action force has an equal and opposite reaction force acting at the same time. So here, while hitting a ball with a bat, the speed of the bat decreases. A gun recoils, that is, move backwards when a bullet is fired, and the mechanism of firing a rocket. Now, all these things, they come under Newton's third law of motion. Now see, the bat exerts a force on the ball. When you are playing cricket, that time when the bowler puts the ball, he does the bowling, he puts the ball, releases the ball, that time the ball is coming onto the bat. So that time the bat is going to hit the ball. So bat is exerting pressure, I mean to say force on the ball. It exerts a force on the ball. Now that is the action. Now the ball exerts a force of equal magnitude but opposite in direction on the bat. So see, this is Newton's third law of motion, where every action force has an equal and opposite reaction force acting at the same time. So that is why the bat decreases. The speed of the bat decreases in this case. Now the gun exerts a force on the bullet. The bullet at the same time exerts an equal and opposite force on the gun. So that is why the gun is moved backwards, that is, it recoils. So here also, if you find here, first the gun is putting or exerting a force on the bullet, and at the same time the bullet is also exerting equal in magnitude and opposite in direction force on the gun. That is why the gun recoils. So this is also an example of Newton's third law of motion. Then we have the rocket. Now, launching a rocket is based on Newton's third law of motion. When the fuel in the rocket is ignited, it burns as a result of the chemical reaction, and compression of hot gases are thrown out with a tremendous force. So when you start a rocket, that time the chemical reactions, they happen when it is ignited inside. So all these reaction and compressed hot gases, they are thrown outside, means in the downward direction. So here, in the downward direction through a small opening in the tail of the rocket. So rocket, if it goes above, from downside, the compressed hot gases, they are thrown outside. Now at the same time, the escaping gases, the hot gases which are coming out, now they also exert equal in magnitude and opposite in direction force on the rocket. So because of that, it moves above. So now, as this force is greater than the net downward force, due to gravity and air resistance, the velocity of the rocket will increase and it will move upwards towards the space. So this is how this Newton's third law of motion is used in rocket launching. Now further, we will see law of conservation of momentum. Now suppose an object A of mass m1. Now suppose an object A of mass m1 and its initial velocity is u1. So there is an object of mass object A of mass m1 and initial velocity u1. There is object B of mass m2 and initial velocity u2. According to the formula of the momentum, the initial momentum of A. So what will be the initial momentum if it is having mass m1, velocity u1? So its formula is m1 v1. And initial velocity of B, it will be m2 v2. So now they strike each other during collision. They will strike each other. So they will exert pressure on each other. And when they move after collisions, you will find their velocities v1 and v2. So what will be their final momentum? It will be m1 into v1 and m2 into v2. v1, v2 final velocities, u1, u2 initial velocities. This momentum is before collision, this momentum is after collision, as you can see over here. Now, suppose these two objects collide, as I told, they will collide. Let the force on A due to B be F1. So, force on A due to B, if it is colliding, it will exert some pressure. So, that will be what? It will be F1. This force will cause acceleration in A and the velocity will become V1. Now, momentum of A after collision, it will be M1 V1. So, see this we have written here, momentum after collision, it is M1 V1 and M2 V2. Then according to Newton's third law of motion, A also exerts an equal force on B but in opposite direction. So that is why here you are getting F2 is equal to minus F1. It is in opposite direction. Now this will cause a change in the momentum of B if its velocity after collision is V2. That we have seen that the velocity is V2 after collision. So here this is the main part where it is in opposite in direction. That is why you are getting here minus F1. Now here see what is the formula for mass force. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So here you will get F2. So you will get, let A1 and A2 be the acceleration. A1 be the acceleration for object A, A2 be the acceleration for object B. Now if you see over here, if you put M2 A2 and here minus sign is there, so here it will become M1 A1. Now what is acceleration? It is the rate of change of velocity or a change in velocity per unit time. So acceleration is v minus u upon t. So here it will come v2 minus u2 upon t. Time will remain same, but why v2? Because it is for the object 2, as you can see over here. Now here object B. Now you can see here m1. So this is m1 a1. So instead of a1 you will put here v1 minus u1 upon t. Now this t is same on both the sides, it will get cancelled. So you will get m2 into v2 minus u2 in bracket. Here you will get m1 minus n will be there into bracket v1 minus u1. Now you have to multiply inside. So if you multiply inside you will get m2 v2 minus sin m2 u2 equal to, here you will get minus m1 into v1 is minus m1 v1, minus into minus is plus, and here it is m1 into u1. So when you are getting these things here, now you can take, see this is m2 v2 plus, here it will come m1 v1, here m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So you will find here that magnitude of total final momentum is equal to the magnitude of total initial momentum. So now here the magnitude of total final momentum is equal to the magnitude of total initial momentum. Thus, if no external force is acting on two objects, then their total initial momentum is equal to their total final momentum. If there is no force acting on the colliding bodies, then total final momentum is equal to total initial momentum. See, this is final momentum because V is there, and these M1 and M2 are for objects A and B. So this will become final equal to U1 U2, that is for initial momentum. So total final momentum is equal to total initial momentum. So when no external force acts on two interacting objects, their total momentum remains constant. It does not change. That is why it is conservation of momentum. This is a corollary to Newton's third law of motion. The momentum is unchanged after collision. The momentum gets redistributed between the colliding bodies. The momentum of one of the body decreases while that of the other increases. Thus, we can also state this corollary as when two objects collide, the total momentum before collision is equal to the total momentum. This is only what I have written. The total, when the bodies collide, the total momentum, final momentum is equal to the total initial momentum. So here they have written that when two objects collide, the total momentum before collision is equal to the total momentum after collision. So in order to understand this principle, let us consider example of a bullet fired from a gun. When a bullet of mass m1 is fired from a gun mass m2. So bullet is having mass m1, gun is having mass m2. Its velocity will become v1 and v2. Before firing the bullet, both the guns and the bullet are at rest. They are at rest. So whenever it is at rest, rest means what? Initial velocity will come as 0 because they are at rest. According to the above law, the total final momentum has to be 0. Thus, the forward moving bullet causes the gun to move backward after firing. That is, the gun recoils. We had seen just a little while earlier. The backward movement of the gun is called as recoil, and the velocity of the recoil v2 is given as so see here, if it is m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to, we are having m1 u1 plus m2 v2. If you see over here, they said that initially they were at rest. Initially it was at rest, both the things. So what will happen? This will come as 0. So when you multiply 0 over come here, it will come 0 plus 0. So this will entirely be 0. So your final momentum will come as equal to 0 over here. Now if you see, if you want to calculate V final, so here what you will get, m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Now this velocity of recoil, that will be what? Now v2 is what? Now here it will be m2 v2 is equal to minus m1 v1. So v2 will be what? Minus m1 v1 upon m2. So what you will get? You will get, therefore v2 is equal to minus m1 upon m2 into v1. So this is what they have explained over here. They have used the same, another example for conservation of momentum over here. So here if you see, as I told you earlier, the backward motion of the gun is known as recoil. So the velocity of the recoil, that is v2, that will be given by the formula minus m1 upon m2 into v1. So this is what it is about, the law of conservation of momentum. Now as the mass of the gun is much higher than the mass of the bullet, the velocity of the gun is much smaller than the velocity of the bullet because of the mass. The magnitude of the momentum of the bullet and that of the gun are equal and opposite in directions because it is related to the Newton's third law of motion. Thus the total momentum remains constant. And also during the launch of the rocket, as it is on the Newton's third law of motion, as we seen earlier, there also the total momentum remains constant. Now we'll see some numericals based on the chapter. Now it is on page number 17, exercise. In that we are going to see the problems. It is page 17 of your textbook. So if you see over here, the first sum, an object moves 18 meters in the first 3 seconds. an object moves 18 meters in first 3 seconds. So it is S1. S1 is equal to 18 meters. Similarly, T1 you will get how many? 3 seconds. Then we have 22 meters in next 3 seconds. So 22 meters means S2 will come 22 meters and T2 it will come again, it is 3 seconds. Then it is 14 meters in last 3 seconds. So again it is 14 meters. So S3 it will come as 14 meters. So what we have to calculate here, it is calculate the average speed. Now speed it is what? Distance upon time. So average speed it will be total distance covered upon the total time taken, or the total distance travelled upon the total time taken. So here you will have to add all these. Now see, so your average speed is equal to, you will get total time travelled, TRA, upon the total time taken. Now see, now the total time, the total distance travelled it will come. So distance is what? S1, S2, S3. So here you will get total means what? S1 plus S2 plus S3. And time will be what? T1 plus T2 plus T3. So how much is this? 18 plus 22 plus 14. So how much you will get over here? This is 54 when you add, and 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 9, 9 was a 9, 9 6 are 54. Here it will come 6. It is speed, so it will come meter per second. So final answer, what they have asked is what is the average speed. So you will write the average speed of the object is 6 meter per second. So see here, again I will explain. An object moves 18 meter in first 3 seconds. So it is, meters means it is the distance. So we denote it as S. So here it will become S1 because here they have repeated thrice. So S1 is 18, time T1 is 3s. Again you find second time, it is 22 meters, time it is 3s. Then S3 it is 14 meters and T3 it is 3s. And they have told to find the average speed. Now as speed is what? Distance upon time, but you need your average speed, so you will take total distance covered upon total time taken. Now you know the formula here. Speed is equal to distance upon time. That only we have applied. But if here there are series, so here we have to add. So that will be total distance travelled upon total time taken for the average speed. So here it is S1 plus S2 plus S3 as it is the distance over there. T1, T2, T3 which is the time. So if you add, you will get 54 upon 9 and 9 ones are 9 6 is 54. So you are getting 6 meter per second. Speed unit is meter per second. Always remember, see, distance it is in meter, speed it is meter per, the speed it is meter per second, and acceleration it is meter per second square, because acceleration is what? Velocity upon time. So velocity is meter per second, time is second, so this will become meter per second square. So like this, remember, acceleration it is meter per second square, speed it is meter per second, because see, speed is what? Distance upon time, distance is meter, time is second, that is why you are getting speed as meter per second. I hope you have understood this. We will go further. Now further, if we see the second sum, where an object of mass 16 kg is moving with an acceleration of 3 meter per second square. So the mass of the object is 16 kg. Acceleration is 3 meter per second square. Calculate the applied force. So F we have to calculate. Now the formula for force is what? Mass into acceleration. So you have to multiply the two. Now if the same force, now we are using the same force over there which we are going to calculate in the upper part. So if the same force is applied on an object of mass 24 kg, now mass they have given, that is m2, because previously they had given one mass before also, so that will be m1. So this is what m2, and force will remain same, it will not be f1 or f2 because it is the same force. So here what we will do, here we will see that is d1. So mass m1 is how much? 16 kg. Got it? It is 16 kg. So here acceleration a1, it is how much? 3 meter per second square, and we need to find the force. And further they have given that the mass of the object. So here m2 it will come, how much it is? 24 kg. Now if you see over here, you have to apply the formula for force, that is equal to mass into acceleration, that is by formula. So here you will need, F is equal to m1 into a1. So m1 is how much? 16 into 3. So force here you will get as 48 newtons. So newton is nothing but kg into meter per second square. Now this same force they are using, and for the second one, so the first one what they said, the force we got is 48 newtons. Now further, force is equal to m2 a2, where mass is already given. How much it is? 24. Acceleration we want to find out. Force we have already got here. It is how much? 48. So acceleration is 48 upon 24. So if you see, 24 ones are 24, 2s is 48. So here it is, a2 is how much? 2 meter per second square. Acceleration is nothing but meter per second square. So here calculate the applied force. So final answer after this you can write. The applied force is 48 newtons. Then you can write this. Then final answer is for how much will be the acceleration. So therefore the acceleration of the object you can write is 2 meter per second square. So here it is easy. We have just used the formula of force, that is mass into acceleration, and we have calculated the force and secondly the acceleration. Now further, if you see the third one, a bullet having a mass of 10 gram and moving with a speed of 1.5 meter per second penetrates a thick wooden plank of mass 900 gram. So the plank was initially at rest, the bullet gets embedded in the plank and both move together. Determine the velocity over here. Now if you see over here, we will take two masses are there. So we will take here M1. M1 is how much? 10 grams. So this mass we will convert in kg. So here it will become 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. Further we have U1, that is how much? 1.5 meter per second. Then you have M2, which is 90 gram. That will be 90 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. Then U2. Now see, they had come to rest, so U2 will come 0. That we want to find out. Now, if you see the question over here, the bullet of mass 10 grams. Now grams we have to convert in kg. Now see, 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. So if you are going from kg to gram, you will multiply by 1000, and if you are going from gram to kg, you have to divide by 1000. So now here if you see, it was 10 grams. So what will happen? It will happen 10 divided by 1000, and 1000 means how much? 1000 means 10 raised to 3. Now it is in the denominator, that is why the power is 3 over here. When it will go to the numerator, see we had done in the indices chapter, when it will go, the power will become minus over here. So that is why you are getting 10 into 10 raised to minus 3, because from the denominator it has gone to the numerator. That is why the power of the index will become minus. So here you are, that is why you are getting here 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. Similarly, for 90 gram, it is 90 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg, because it is from gram to kg only. I hope you are understanding. Now further, so we have written the speed also there. Penetrates a thick wooden plank of mass. The plank was initially at rest. So plank was initially at rest. So U2 is what? 0 meter per second. So bullet velocity it was having initial, but plank was at rest, so it was 0. When it is at rest, it means it is 0. And here the velocity, it will not be v1 v2, it will be same only, because whatever velocity of that bullet, when it will strike, both will have the same velocity. So here v1 v2 is equal to v only. So by the formula of law of conservation of momentum, just before this we had done this, so how we will do? So here it will come, therefore m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Now we want to find, here is v. Now if you remember, here there is nothing as v1 and v2, so here it is v only. So here what you will get, m1 u1 plus m2 v2, this both is v only, so we can take common inside, you will get m1 plus m2. Now see what is m1 over here. M1 is 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 into u1 is how much? It is 1.5 plus m2 is how much? 90 into 10 raised to minus 3. u2 is how much? Sorry, here it is u. So here you will get into this part it will become 0. So here you will get only 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 1.5. Here it is b, m1 plus m2. Now we want b, so bring this m1 plus m2 over here. So what will happen? B is equal to, here you will get m1 plus m2. Now put the value. So here you will get, therefore b is equal to 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 1.5 upon m1. m1 is again 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 into, plus m2 is how much? It is 90 into 10 raised to minus 3. Now see here, this is plus sign, means here you can't cancel. You have to take this 10 raised to minus 3 common. So you will get 10 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 1.5. Downside bracket put, here it is 10 plus 90 and both are having this 10 raised to minus 3. So here it will come. So this thing and this thing will get cancelled over here. So b is how much? It is 10 upon 100 into 1.5. So if you do over here multiplication, so b you will get 15 upon 100. So 15 upon 100 is how much? 0.15 meter per second. So therefore velocity how much it is? It is 0.15 meter per second. So the speed with which the plank containing the bullet moves is 0.15 second. That you can write as the final answer. See formula. Now see the D1, a person swims 100 meter in the first 40 seconds, 80 meter in the next 40 seconds and 45 meters in the last 20 seconds. What is the average speed? This you can do on your own because it is same as how I did the first one. Now see, the mass of a cannon is 500 kg and it recoils with the speed of 0.25 meter per second. So what is the momentum of the cannon? Now see here, we will see one example regarding momentum. Now whatever is given, that mass of cannon, it is there on page number 16. So mass of cannon, it is 500 kg. Recoil speed, that with which it moves behind, that is 0.25 meter per second. So what is the momentum? So we know the formula for momentum. What is it? It is mass into velocity. How much is the mass? It is given. It is 500. So here it will come 500 into 0.25 meter per second. So here you will get 125 kg meter per second. That is nothing but momentum. So here what it was given, the mass of the cannon was given, which was 500 kg. The recoil speed was given, that was 0.25 meter per second. So momentum is what? Mass into velocity, the product of mass into velocity. We have done this earlier. So here mass into velocity, so 500 into 0.25, you will get 125 kg into meter per second. That is nothing but momentum. So second example is same as what we did now. So I hope you have understood this. Now see here, an athlete is running on a circular track. He runs a distance of 400 meter in 25 seconds. Before returning to his original position, what is his average speed and velocity? Now see, speed is what? Distance upon time. Velocity is displacement upon time. Displacement means what? When you are doing some change in your movement. If you are at one place, you have changed your position and you have went to the second place. So there is a distance which you have traveled. So that is a displacement. But if you are starting from one point and coming again to the same point, then your displacement will become zero, as if you are running in a circle and coming to the initial point from where you started. So there your displacement becomes zero. Now in this example, an athlete, we will see this example. Now see, an athlete is running on a circular track. See, he is running on a circular track. He runs a distance of 400 meter. So total distance travelled here will come what? 400 meter. So total distance travelled. This is there on your page number 11. You can do the solved example. It is solved over here. So here you will get 400 meter. Now total displacement. Now total displacement you will not get because displacement is not there. He is coming to the original position again. So displacement it will be 0. Total time taken is how much? They have given, it is given as 25 seconds. So here what is the average speed that we want to calculate and average velocity. Now speed is equal to distance upon time. So average speed will be what? Total distance covered upon time taken. So here it will come total distance covered upon total time taken. Now total distance covered was how much? It was 400 upon 25. So here it is total distance covered. See here it is 400 meter. Time is 25. So here you will get 400 upon 25. So 5 5 is 25. 5 is 40 over here. 5 1 is 5. 5 1 is 5. 5 6 is 13. So your average speed is equal to 16 meter per second. So your average speed is how much? 16 meter per second. Now we want average velocity also. So average velocity is what? The total displacement. So here average velocity is equal to total displacement upon total time taken. Now total displacement, as he has come to the original position, so there is no displacement, so here it will come 0 and time is how much? 25. So here it will come 0 meter per second. So its average velocity is 0 meter per second and its average speed is 16 meter per second. So I hope you have understood this. So do try these sums again in your books and do read the chapter again. Thank you.